Hey Meridian members, there's been a lot of talk about the rules of golf this year with the changes and things like that. It's probably one of the some of the questions I get asked the most about the rules of golf is how we play it here. So Rhiannon and I are going to make a video for you guys talking about every hole of Meridian and how we play it. So we'll go around to each position on the golf course, all 18 holes, and the different situations you can get into and the proper way to play it under the rules of golf. But before we do that, let's go over kind of like the three main rules of golf. So, Rhiannon, if you want to follow me up here. First, let's talk about the out of bounds ball, okay, or a lost ball, okay? So this is kind of a hybrid hole between, it's kind of a combination between maybe our 11th and 12th holes, okay? So let's say I get up here and I slice a golf ball that goes out of bounds, okay, over in the hacienda parking lot, let's say, okay? So under the rules of golf, okay, under the rules of golf, I would have, if I saw the ball go out of bounds or I went down there and discovered it was out of bounds, I would have to retrace my steps and go back to the place where I last hit my the last shot from. So that would be the tee box, okay? It'd be one out, one in, hitting three, okay? So that's how you would play. There we go. A true out of bounds ball, okay? Now the USGA came up with an idea to kind of alleviate that, and most of the time everybody plays it this way anyway, okay? During normal play, I have no problem with you guys playing it this way. Under our championships, our club championship, our member guests, our ladies club championship and like that, we won't play it this way, okay? But for a pace of play, so people can keep up and keep the pace of play moving, this is the way you would play it. And the USGA is okay with that, okay? Where it last crossed the out of bounds, you draw a line to the hole, okay? And you can go over here to the fairway, take 2 club lengths in, okay? And draw a line to the hole. And anywhere behind this line, behind this line where it crossed out of bounds, you can hit a golf shot, okay? And you'd be hitting 4, okay? 1 out, 1 in. Basically your provisional shot down here, then dropping it down anywhere in here, two club lengths into the fairway, and then you can hit your shot and you'd be hitting 4, okay? That's a way that you can proceed for a lost ball or an out of bounds ball, okay? So that's okay with me during regular play, okay? Okay, and then I get this question probably 100 times a year, okay? Paul, what's the difference between red penalty areas, not hazards anymore, and yellow penalty areas, okay? We hope that, and we all thought that we were just gonna get the one hazard, but we didn't. They still kept the red and the yellow penalty areas, okay? So let's go over the red, okay? So this is like on number 14, 13, 11. So I'm on the tee box, and I hook my shot over here where it crosses the red hazard line, okay? So basically, sorry about the flames, basically I have 3 options, okay? Actually, yes, 3 options, okay? I can go back to the tee where I last hit my last shot from. Not a very good option because I'm gonna lose all this distance. I'm gonna have to cover that distance again, okay? Whenever your ball goes into hazard, the most important thing is where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, okay? So this red line, my ball last crossed right there, okay? So that's an important part of the deal, okay? Now, probably the option that you'll use the most for a red penalty area, okay, is 1 club length, 2 club length from the point where it last crossed, and you have this half up high here where you can drop the golf ball, knee height, okay? No closer to the hole, okay? That half up high right there, 1 club length, 2 club length, kind of connect that deal back to the hazard line, and that's where you can drop the golf ball. The other option that you do have, okay, a little bit like this over here, I go to the hole and I draw a straight line back, touching that point where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, and then I can continue back here, okay, anywhere back on that line, no closer to the hole, behind where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, okay? So those are your three options. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And number 2 being the one that you're going to use most of the time, because that way you're not going to give up the yardage that you did from the last point, and drop it fairly close from where the ball crossed. Okay, the next point is probably the one I get asked the most. Okay, the yellow hazard or the yellow penalty area. So just imagine this is like Augusta National, let's say. Augusta National is never going to get rid of that yellow hazard in front of the 12th hole, and it's important for you to complete that hazard. This area on number 11 at Meridian will be the only yellow hazard on the golf course. Okay, so I've taken everything else out. Okay, and as Rhiannon and I go around the golf course, you'll see this is the only yellow hazard we have on the golf course. I feel like it's important to complete that hazard. Okay, that your ball has to go over the lake and stay on that side. Okay, so let's say I'm hitting a 9-iron right down here, and the ball flies over, hits on, and comes back in. So actually, if you look at this ball crossed the hazard line 3 times. Okay, but the key is where it last crossed the margin of the hazard. Okay, so where it last crossed the margin of the hazard is right there. Okay, I'm going to keep that point. What I have to do with the yellow penalty area is I have to keep the flag where it last crossed and where I drop in a straight line. Okay, so I couldn't keep it in a straight line and drop over here. Everybody wants to, but you can't do it. Okay, this is a yellow penalty area, so it's different than the red. Okay, so I have to keep the flag where it last crossed and go back on that line as far as I want. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so that's the yellow. So that's the difference between the yellow and the red penalty area. I could go back to this spot here if I wanted, but again, you're going to lose some distance there. Okay, so you have 2 options here. You can play it from where you last hit your last golf shot from before it went to the penalty area, or you can keep it. You can drop it on that line between the flag where it last crossed and go back on as far on that line as you can, or you would like to. Okay, so those are our 3 major deals. Okay, lost or out of bounds, red penalty area, and then yellow penalty area. So that gives us some reference, because I'm going to use those out on the golf course of what can go wrong. So we're going to get bundled up here, go out on the golf course, and start going through hole by hole. And if you guys have any questions on this after you watch it on the video, just let me know. All right, this is hole number 1 out here at Meridian Golf Club. Not much trouble you can get on this hole. Probably the thing that most people do on this hole is either slice it out of bounds on the right or lose it left. Okay, under that, if we're playing one of our championships, then you would re-tee it from back here. If you're just playing everyday casual golf, you would go equidistant from the point where it went out of bounds or was lost, and you can go back to the fairway, and you would be hitting 4. Okay, so that's the way I would recommend doing it. So we're going to head on to number 2. Second hole here at Meridian. Most of the trouble is off the tee here. There's no really hazards on this hole. So if we lose the ball in a championship, we would have to re-tee it, replay it from where we last played our original ball from. The other thing is on the left over at Josh's maintenance deal. Sometimes he has some sand and some dirt or some trees that he's working with. We'll circle that with a white ground under repair, and you get nearest relief from there. So that's the second hole here at Meridian. All right, the third hole out of Meridian. So this is going to be a little bit more involved piece of the video here. If your ball goes into the water, okay, right off the tee, okay, doesn't land it by the green and trickle in, we'll cover that also. But if it doesn't cross really any land except in front of us here, I changed this year. I'm going to give you the option to go to the drop area on this hole, okay? And the drop area on this hole is going to be up on the ladies' tee, the red and the white tee, and there's going to be a blue stake, okay? And we'll show that to you. So the blue stake is going to define our drop areas this year, okay? It'll be a little bit easier to maintain rather than the white ones, the white circles and things like that. So anywhere you see a blue stake, that's going to be a drop area, okay? So if your ball doesn't cross, this is a red hazard, a red penalty area. If it doesn't cross up by the green, if it lands in the water without crossing the margin of the hazard up by the green, you can go right to the drop area, okay, which will be the ladies' tee, okay, and you can drop your ball there. Blue stakes are going to define our drop areas this year at Meridian, okay? So anywhere there's a blue stake, that will define as a drop area. So we're going to have them on 3, 7, 8, 11, 12, 15, and 18, okay? So instead of the white circles, the blue stakes will define a drop area. So anywhere on number 3 on the ladies' tee and the white tee, if your ball goes in the water, you can drop it here. Okay, so if your ball on number 3 does come over, hit above the red line here close to the green, and then roll in, okay, what we need to do is agree upon where it last crossed the margin of the hazard, take 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole, okay, going like this, okay. I'm okay with you guys placing the ball because I know it's going to bounce and we don't have to drop it twice, okay? So you could just go here, place the ball, okay, no closer to the hole, 2 club lengths, my longest club, and make sure that ball stays, okay? And then you can proceed. So you'd be hitting 3 from here, okay? So that's what you do if your ball does cross the red line and enter from this way. All right. All right, we're on the 4th hole here. No hazards on this hole. Basically what you can get in trouble with off the tee here is out of bounds to the left or lost ball right. In a tournament, you'd have to re-tee it. In just everyday normal play, just like we talked about, you can go the stroke and distance where you go back to the fairway, 2 club lengths in, and you can drop your ball there. Okay, perfect. All right, this is the 5th hole, so pretty much the same as, you know, almost 2, 4, 5, 6, where there's trouble, there's out of bounds on the left, and you could possibly lose your ball on the right. So we've gone over it on stroke and distance rules and things like that. I'm going to go up a little close to the green here and go over the unplayable ball rule in a bunker. Okay, up here in one of our new bunkers on number 5, got myself in a bad situation here. Got the ball plugged really close to the lip. So I can't take an unplayable ball, okay? I can take 2 club lengths from the ball and keep it within the bunker. I can keep the flag, my ball on a line and go back in the bunker as far as I want, okay? Those are 1-shot penalties, okay? Or, new this year, just saying, boy, even if I take an unplayable ball, it's still a hard shot all the way up to the green. I can take the ball, come out of the bunker, keep in line with the pin where the ball was, and drop that ball like this, okay? But that's a 2-shot penalty. So you can drop your ball outside the bunker on an unplayable ball, okay? But it's a 2-shot penalty versus a 1 if you drop it within the bunker, okay? Okay. 6th hole here, again, out of bounds, way left, could possibly lose a ball to the right. So again, just like on 2, 3, 2, 4, and 5, kind of the same procedure there. On in a tournament, you'd have to come back here, otherwise you'd have to proceed under the stroke and distance rule. We're going to go down to the lake, and I'll show you how to drop the ball when your ball goes in there.